Hey, Drew,
Yes.
are you excited for Cobra Kai Season 5 this weekend?
Dude, I'm so pumped. That's the best intro yet.
I was going to do something about, like, Darth Vader wearing black underwear, but...
But no. Lucy, amazing intro. Slow clap.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another Obi-Wan Kenobi-tastic and behind-the-scenes-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we're back.
Yeah.
2 days late than our normal thing.
We survived.
We were hoping that this episode would be a Bad Batch Season 2 trailer, and we got duped. There's nothing there. No news, no announcements.
Nope. Nothing at all. I was like texting you, Jeremiah. I was like, I still see nothing. It's 10:30. It's not gonna happen.
It's usually by 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. They usually post right on the hour.
Oh, really?
Right. And so like I get up at 7:50 in the morning, and usually a few minutes later I see a trailer always when I wake up. So, but not today. But we did get the Obi-Wan Kenobi behind the scenes documentary, which is an hour long, just a single episode. And we are doing a late start on this episode because I had to watch it after work because we didn't get a trailer. So,
yep, I finished it probably like 30 minutes ago, and then I was trying to put Miles to sleep and he didn't want to, so then we started watching the BTS.
Lightyear? Oh.
No, the BTS. No, he hates that new Buzz Lightyear movie.
I thought you said he fell asleep. Both of you fell asleep.
Oh, I guess I could have made him go. That's
see
Jeremiah.
Uncle Jeremiah.
Uncle Jeremiah there. He figured it out.
All the tips. But yes, so we can might as well just jump right into this episode. I felt like this documentary was rushed in its production. Like honestly,
yeah.
Like there's some really cool, interesting things. But
seems like they made it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a lot of it was like I felt like they just kind of rushed through it because like every single like character was only like here's 2 minutes on this character, a minute on this character, a minute on this type of scene or whatever, and it was just very rushed. And a lot of it was just like just explaining who the characters are, which
we watched the show.
We watched the show, but we also like broke down the characters in our discussions already. So it's like there's very little we learned about the characters. There's some cool tidbits, but
they kept like teasing about Leia, and then we just never got it.
Yeah, we got like a couple little snippets of Vivian, the girl. I was really
acting like they're gonna go more detail and like I her.
Like they did a lot with Ewan, obviously, and a lot with Hayden. I thought they were
that for sure.
Right. I thought they were gonna do a lot with Vivian because she's like a bigger character than Obi-Wan in the show.
Chill.
And like we didn't really get much on her. And it was kind of funny because I was like so excited to see the stuff on her that I completely forgot that Hayden Christensen was in the show. So when they started talking, I was like, oh yeah, Hayden Christensen is Anakin Skywalker and Vader. So I was that excited for Vivian, but we never got her. But we got a little bit of her. But who knows if we'll get more of her in the future as Leia? I hope we do somehow, some way. But anyway,
I don't know how we would, but you know what? She goes to literally every con, so
there's that too.
You can see her there.
But I don't know. I took some notes, just kind of like jot some interesting tidbits. I thought that was really cool. The opening scene was Alec Guinness being interviewed, like, you've never done a sci-fi movie before, like fully sci-fi. Like, are there any challenges? And he's like, it's a challenge from top to bottom. Like, it's completely
Yeah.
different. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Um, and I really like the opening, like how like Ewan was talking about him becoming Obi-Wan, and some of his stuff we already knew. But I thought it was really cool fun fact for how like when he got cast as Obi-Wan for Phantom Menace, he went back and like watched young Alec Guinness movies so
Mm-hmm.
that he could be like, how did he talk when he was,
To capture his voice, essentially.
yeah, to see what it would be like, see like how would this voice sound at this age type of thing. So I thought that was really cool. That's very smart.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed the way that they interviewed him. It seemed like they kind of took their time with him.
Right.
Like it I don't know, when that scene where like Anakin is like in his costume again and he looks out in the distance and Obi wanted to
Oh yeah.
stay, that almost brought tears to my eyes because that was a really cool moment in the show. But to feel that they haven't seen each other yet, and this is the moment. And honestly, I don't want to be the elephant in the room, but those masks really kind of threw it all off for me.
What mask? Oh, the face
It
mask. Oh,
Yes. Like,
well,
that kinda, like, ruined the entire documentary for me
what?
in the sense of, like, you couldn't see the reaction with each other for the first time. Like, it didn't ruin it, but it kinda just kept pulling. I was like, "Oh, I wish they didn't have to cover their face."
Dude, Ewan's mask that he was wearing, it was too small for his
Yeah, the
face.
boy got big old chin.
It wasn't even
It
fitting.
didn't.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. It just puts it into context because, like, what was it?
It was,
Because
like, the heart of
they
COVID,
kind
so
of named like the um or not named, I don't know, like titled like days of production, like when they were shooting certain things. What was it? The last day was like 120 something, and so that was 4 months of production of shooting, and you know that usually they try to get stuff done in like 3 months, and
yeah.
so it just goes at cons. They had delays just because of COVID, but it is
Well,
what it
and
is.
and she kinda mentioned that at the end, at the wrap, like, this a lot happened, and this is all of our heart, and we aim for the stars, and she felt like
Yeah,
they hit it. But I think a lot of that also had to do with battling throughout COVID, trying to film this thing on time and all the hurdles of that. So,
right, right.
but it was really cool though to have them all watching Star
Oh,
Wars in that room.
and the volume.
I was so jealous. I was like, dude, I want to
I
do
want
that.
okay. We've talked about Empire Con last week, and I was just thinking watching this. I was like, what if we have Empire Con at the volume and we all watch Star Wars in the volume?
Gosh, one
That
day.
would be
One day when Disney signs us a contract and we're the official podcast for Disney, that'd be dope.
that'd be
But
cool.
we could definitely not get that many people in there though. Like we have to have a smaller number.
Oh, are you kidding
But
me?
when they're
That
flashing through all the scenes, that was so cool.
yeah,
Like they just kept going through planets. Like
yeah.
someone had a remote, like, what planet do you want? Let's go to this one, this one, this one. It was so cool.
And that was funny because I remember like Hayden was looking around while they were doing that. But like I was thinking, okay, a TV is in front of you, but the volume is all around. So he was like not looking at what I was looking at. I'm like, why are you not watching? I'm like, oh, because it's all around.
It's literally all around him. He was admiring it all again,
Yeah,
taking it all
but
in.
anyway, I really also liked um, Deborah how she said that she needs to tell like her story, not
Mhm.
George's story, which is an interesting perspective because I think it'd be easy to like
Mimic what George did.
right, and so maybe that's kind of like why there's some people that because there's a lot of people that absolutely hate the Kenobi series, like they think it's like the worst thing ever made, blah blah blah, and like I think maybe the reason why it's like that is because Deborah had a different style, a different approach to storytelling, um, and so they're just used to George Lucas way of telling Star Wars, but she did something different. I don't know. Maybe that's
Mhm.
just kind of like an underlying principle, but
Yeah, but I also think like a lot had to do with Riva's character. people didn't really like that.
Well, there's that, but that's a different
And not
debate.
just like the whole fact that she knew the whole time, people still have issues with that. That she knew that that was Anakin and she shouldn't have known. Like that's everyone's biggest
Yeah, but
complaint.
they explain it though.
I know, but
Like,
people
why would they not?
there's
That's
those same people are probably the people that turn it off after they found out that and they just never turn back on. And there's probably the same people that literally haven't watched Star Wars like kept watching Star Wars since Jedi. And then this is the first thing since Jedi that they probably watched. Or
I,
not Jedi, Last Jedi. Because there's so many of those fans that like I haven't watched Star Wars since The Last Jedi because I don't want to because they probably messed it up. Like, well, Mando's really good. I don't want to watch it. I don't. I'm
yeah, we don't need to
afraid
talk. We don't need to talk about those negative
those
people.
those nerf herders.
Yep. What else? So, Ewan mentioned that it was him and two other people that auditioned or were like the top three for the position of the spot
Kenobi.
of Kenobi. I want to know who those other two actors were.
True. I was kind of
Like,
sad that they didn't show like that
I
process a little
like
bit.
they never production like they never tell who these other people are unless it like gets leaked by like an actor who actually auditioned. Like, yeah, I auditioned for it. They did
And
themselves, but like
and I wonder if a lot of those people aren't even allowed to say that too.
I think they're allowed to. I just don't think they want to.
Watch it's like some random person.
I
Like
don't know, but like did you ever hear who was one of the one of the contenders for Anakin in the prequels?
no.
Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't like him?
No, that would have actually been kind of cool.
Did you also hear who was strongly? It was almost like it was like second place for Jar Jar Binks.
Okay, what? Who?
You're not gonna believe this, but it was Michael Jackson.
What?
Michael Jackson was gonna be the voice of Jar Jar Binks.
He could have walked around doing the
Yeah,
thriller
the
dance.
thriller thing.
That would have been cool, dude. They should have gave it to Michael. Oh,
But I don't know. I just wonder like how Leonardo DiCaprio would have done.
do you know what though? If Michael actually did,
People would have liked him better because it's
I
Michael
was gonna
Jackson.
say Jar Jar's character would be loved by every single person.
Yeah.
George was probably beating himself up after that premiere of that movie. They're like,
I don't know.
"Man."
But I really liked how I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Ewan as a fan of Star Wars because in this documentary he's like, yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm obsessed with it. But like, there's other times where I'm like, when he's in interviews and stuff, I feel like he just isn't a fan. Like, I don't know.
I think for the longest, he wasn't a fan of what he did because so many people hated on it that he
No, I
kind
don't
of
think it was
wanted.
that.
You
No,
don't think it was like he wanted to
no.
step
I'm just
away?
saying he just. I don't know. Like, I always just assume that like actors for Star Wars should be like huge Star Wars fans. And they should have like watched everything, like all the shows, like stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
And like a lot of them, like they've barely even seen anything. Like sometimes I'm like Ewan, I'm like I get mixed feelings with him. I'm sure he is a huge Star Wars fan, but he's just not like as knowledgeable as like we may be with like all the minute
yeah. It's
details.
not like what's her name who got cast for Ahsoka. Like she watches everything.
Oh yeah, she was like before the show was even written. She was like posting on Twitter like, "Hey, I want to play Ahsoka Tano in live action."
Yeah,
Like,
and she like watched all the Clone Wars with her kids and like she's like
yeah,
die hard Star Wars,
yeah,
which I mean you gotta love that.
right.
But I like that he likes the original, and I like that he did take that character, and like you said earlier, like you went and watched the younger version of Alec Guinness and like embraced that
Yeah.
character. So I thought that was really cool. But let's be real, one of the reasons why he probably got the role because his uncle's was in Star Wars.
Oh, what's his face? Palette. Um, Wedge.
What? And there it is, Wedge
Well,
into
okay, you can't say that he got the part because his
no, but
uncle.
it might have helped a little
No,
bit.
not no. There's no.
I mean, he's really good. Okay, one thing about this documentary too that kind of bummed me is we didn't see the scene when the behind the scenes of when he saw his master for the first time again. Like we didn't see them embrace behind the scenes, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Like we kind of saw him after he was like they were already talking to each other, but I wanted to see them hug and like be in
yeah.
that moment.
It was just cool hearing what's his face? What's the actor's name? Liam Neeson. I was like,
Dude, it was so cool.
this is normal. I always think like, okay, his acting voice is that cool, but the way he talks in real life must be like somewhat different. That's
It's the
exactly
same.
the same.
It's the
It's
exact
just,
same.
I
Between Take Care of Anakin and Taken, it's like the same voice. Like
Taken. That's Taken. It's an
it's the
interesting
same.
series.
But he's
But
getting old. Woo! That boy's getting
I don't know.
old.
I feel like I would say this. He's aged way better than Hayden Christensen.
Okay, but I was gonna say that too, but then the beginning of when they're doing flashback, Hayden still had all those wrinkles in his forehead, even as a kid. Like when he played young Anakin, there's a
Nah.
part where he's getting makeup and it was like
Okay. Okay. So I'm confused on the flashback scene because Obi-Wan was like, yeah, I had dots on my face for de-aging. Okay. But like Hayden also had dots on his face, but there was no de-aging. Like that was noticeable. So like I don't
know.
I don't know. I can't believe that
On
they
it
try to do de-aging on
honestly,
Hayden.
like they should have de-aged him and not like they didn't really have to de-age Ewan because Ewan
Right. He
like
looked the same.
he
Like I didn't
looks
even
fine, but Hayden's a little
he's really I
and
just
his
can't believe
voice is way is it
I
just
know.
me or
We've talked.
I
No,
feel
we've talked about this. His voice is completely different. It's super low. He's super
he must
wrinkly
he
for his
must
age.
he must be a smoker.
No, he's a farmer. He worked outside on the farm.
Oh, that's what it is.
But even then, I'm like,
I forgot he's a farmer now.
yeah,
So interesting.
up in Canada somewhere.
Oh, he's Canadian.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just kidding.
We have some
I'm
voicemails
just
from a
kidding.
Canadian tonight. Okay,
I'm
so
just
calm
kidding.
down.
I'm just kidding.
But yes. So Uh, I like to, but going back to what about Obi-Wan being like a fan, I really think that he was more of a fanboy during the prequels than he is now. Because like we see him like in the scenes from the originals, like when they're talking about the submarine scene, like is this actually gonna go in water? Are we gonna be completely submerged in water? And George is
Oh
like,
yeah,
no, it's just a prop. Calm down. Like
yeah.
I thought that was super funny.
Or even how he mentioned he's like, yeah, I was kind of like, I know we're not in space, but I was kind of hoping like we could do
We
something
could.
similar to that. Like, what do you what?
I don't know.
But he was
Um,
young too. You got to think he was like in his what 20s.
yeah. So
So we're all
I,
not the brightest when we're that young. You know what I mean? Like he was probably just like he looked so weird without makeup when
yeah.
like they're showing that stuff, and his hair is like all scraggly and
Definitely
looks
looking like
nappy.
90s hairstyle back
Yeah. Oh
then.
gosh, the 90s.
um, I
Was it
do
weird for you that they didn't interview George at all for this?
no because he wasn't in the show. He didn't work on it.
I know, but like oh yeah, that's true because he's worked on Mando because he's been in a lot of those like the Mando and the Boba
Okay,
stuff.
he's been like on set for like a couple days on like one episode for Mando. Like
True.
he's
I
not
know
like
he hasn't done a lot,
actually.
but every time they do interview him, that's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like
know.
all those behind, he still
I
gets
don't.
a little.
He's like we learned in this thing. He's in the let the past be in the past. George is a has been. We don't need to talk about him anymore.
Oh well,
Anyway, um, we did get official name for the thing in the desert. It's a sand whale.
San Will.
Whale.
Well.
So we didn't know what it was. We thought it was like a stingray, like a shark or something. But
But we kind of like figured there was like mining it like food. So I mean,
well, right.
we weren't wrong. But
And
also,
I
how
really
well
like
did
though. for this opening for that scene specifically, there's like they want to focus on the man of Obi-Wan, not the Jedi, which is an
Yes.
interesting, like nuanced look, like separating the person
Yeah.
from their like profession or
Yep.
hobbies or something. Like I think that's a very important thing that people should analyze about themselves. Like who are
Mhm.
they apart from their job, their hobbies, their whatever, just to like what's their base self. And like this was focusing on him as a person if he wasn't a Jedi, which
Mhm.
so I thought that was really cool.
And I think if you guys are listening to this and you guys haven't watched this or any of the behind the scenes stuff of any of the shows, I really encourage you to because they do help you analyze the show differently. And I feel like every time I get done watching these things, it gives me a new perspective of the show and I want to go back and rewatch the show. And it kind of like changes the way I feel about certain scenes. Especially like this scene, like when this scene came out, it was like, whatever, like he grabbed a piece of meat, he stole it for his camo or whatever the thing is called. You know what I mean? Like there, this
A
scene,
Yuppie.
his Yuppie, and this scene wasn't like as impactful for me at first, but now seeing it through their eyes and what they wanted and how this was actually the director's favorite scene of the show. Like this scene really, she focused on the scene a lot. It kind of like re visually puts it in my perspective too. So I encourage you guys to go watch these because it's really cool sometimes. I don't it's still as fast as they did put it out, it seemed kind of rushed. It still was really well done. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I liked watching it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Especially if you watch Mando season 1, Disney Gallery. I think that's the
Mhm.
best one they've put out.
That for sure because they went through every character, every
That was
development.
like 8 episodes or something, and
Dude, yeah,
the
it was
the one
so
episode
good.
when Dave Filoni talks about Anakin and Luke and Vader, like their relationship, like their breakdown of that
Mhm.
changes how you understand Star Wars.
And I was wondering too because I'm like, why are these coming out? And they're one episode now, or like two at the most. And I looked it up, and it's because the ratings for that first one was very low. Like people watched the first episode, the first two episodes, and then never went back to it. So that's why they haven't kept going with the big versions of this, which I think is really sad because I would love a bigger deep dive into Jedi Returns. You know, like I want a episode just about little Leia, her
Right.
development, how she was cast, like her perspective. Like we didn't get an interview from her, and like yeah, I love Star Wars. There was no interview about like from her.
And little Luke, there was nothing on him
Uh,
at all.
the only
Like
time you saw him was at the end,
he
and
was
he
just
was on someone's shoulder in the background
like yeah, like
waving. Like
he never even got interviewed at for anything. Like there's nothing like showing him like
no,
acting. Like
there was just pictures of him.
picture like a picture of Owen and Baru
Aunt
like on
Maru,
set,
yeah,
like they're just posing for a picture. But like that was like basically, I'm like, dang,
the poor kid guy, kind of. And
poor.
even when they brought them in for an interview, it was so short.
Well, it's short for everyone. No one like
Well,
it's just it.
Ewan's was long
Well, yeah, but he's the main character. But like everyone else was just like even like I'm like in my notes like the stuff is about they talked about the Inquisitors. Like
for like 10 minutes
no, that was like super
or
short.
2 minutes. Yeah,
It was like I thought we were
yeah,
gonna get a lot more breakdown on who these were. Like Deborah gave a just like explanation of who they are because like I think she like they put that in there because like a lot of people didn't know about rebels and
yep,
stuff, so they didn't know exactly who they were. So she just stated like a definition basically.
yeah.
Um, but okay, I they said something that I thought was really lame about Riva. She's
Hmm.
like, we had to make it. What did she said? The fans really needed to believe that she could take Vader.
No one ever
No, no
believed
one
that,
believed that.
not
Like
even for a
no,
second.
like it's already established that
Yeah,
she's like the worst Inquisitor. She's like the least powerful, and like
when she said that, I rolled my eyes. I
I
was like,
I I kind of
okay,
laughed and like I wrote it down. I'm
yeah,
like like her
yeah,
story is believable. I just don't think that it's believable that we're supposed to believe that she could take Vader. Like
100%.
like I don't know. I thought that was kind of lame that they said that. Like who are they kidding? Like it's Vader. Like
Yeah,
Ahsoka was the only one that could like her and Obi-Wan are the only ones that could go toe to toe with him that we've seen. So like,
yep.
well, I guess
And
there's stuff in comics. I don't know if there's any duels in comics that
there
were like
is, but at the same time, you're right. Like, or like Palpatine,
even
I guess. Like
even in the
Palpatine.
even in the comics, like Kira, Han's ex girlfriend,
Hmm.
she rises to power in uh whatever Darth Maul's thing is. I forget what it's called. But like she fights Vader, duels him, and like she like holds her ground against Vader, but like Riva can't. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Puzzle in the chat said there definitely are. So,
Right.
I mean, but at the end of the day, we all know Vader doesn't die, so it doesn't really. It kind of
Right.
takes me out of it a little bit, anyways.
Right. Just kind of bullet some quick things. That was cool. Like the first time that we see them with Vivian, the girl, how she's like, "Oh, should I like say sorry to Lola
Should I
before I turn
do
off
my
light?"
sorry nod or
Yeah,
something?
like I thought it was cool that at her age she's already
She was taking in charge.
taking charge. Like she's Carrie
Hmm.
Fisher, she's Leia Organa, like taking the initiative to do things. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
Um, I thought it was cool that they had the. I don't know if it was actually how they did it because I didn't. I have to go back and watch, but like that alien with the eyes all over his face. They're like, "Oh, this is the shop owner," like keeping their eyes on everyone.
I
Was
when they
was that the
said that,
alien in that scene? Like the
I
shop
don't
owner?
remember. I don't remember that
I
alien
hope
at
it is because
all.
that's a really funny thing. Like eyes
It's just
watching everyone, like making sure
that's
not.
a smart idea. And like you said, I just when they're talking so deeply about that alien and stuff and her idea behind it, like I felt like they spent more time on that than Leia. But like that scene, like they're
Right.
talking about it. But yeah, I don't remember that alien at all. Honestly, most of those aliens, I barely remember any of them.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them. The big giant, like furry, tall, like sloth looking thing I recognize, but that was
Yeah.
it. Um, I really liked the comment of um, how Obi-Wan did not see Leia for who she was as a child of Anakin and
Mhm.
Padme. Like it didn't even like he wasn't even registering like this is their child.
Yeah.
Like even though obviously he knew that, but like he treated her as just a regular kid. And throughout the movie, like actually at the end of that episode is when he kind of like, oh, you just remind me of someone.
Yeah.
And I think that was just interesting how, because I guess I don't know if I remember even caught like that. Like he didn't acknowledge or like fully realize who she was, because he even says like, "How old are you again?" Like you know how long it's been. Like
Yeah.
so, like I thought that was just a really cool way to interpret Obi-Wan's sense of duty in that moment. It was like more about the job than him having an attachment to Anakin, Padme, and then through them towards her. So
Yeah. And I like that Ewan was like, yeah, like he has what, four kids, four daughters.
four daughters, I think he said,
Yeah, and so he was saying like he understands what it is to be a dad of
father,
a daughter.
but also like
So
how to like interact with the daughter, like girl on set. That's
yeah. So for him, he was like it was easy for him to figure out that role and like slowly develop that character
yeah,
development, which is really cool. And it seemed like it almost like was one of Ewan's like ideas for this series is to bring in Leia. Because he kind of mentioned how he was like everyone was thinking it's going to be about Obi-Wan and Luke
right. He said they
development,
said that.
but
I wonder because he's listed as a producer,
yes.
but like I wonder how much a producer is involved in writing the story Because I think like a producer is more about like making the production happen. So like I don't really know like I would like to know like more about like his
Yeah.
involvement with the actually creating the story,
It's
or if he
hard to
was,
tell, right? Because I feel like sometimes producers, you can put your name as a producer, which means you like funded certain parts of it, or like,
or even if it's like making sure like everything's running properly in the show production, and
yeah,
because like I really like when a writer is also a producer, because then
yep.
they're obviously making it work more efficiently, I think. But
hmm But yeah, I, yeah, it's very interesting. But I like that she acknowledged him right away, and that's what she said. Like, Ewan's obviously the star of the show, but at the same time, he's also a producer. Like, she's announced that before they even
yeah,
shot the
the
first
day
scene.
one day one of
Day
set
one announcement.
at the
So
the sand whale scene.
yeah, so I
So
thought that was pretty cool to for her to say that, and yeah, I don't know. I think the cast is honestly really good. I thought they did pretty well with the casting of the show,
yeah,
and I think, like you said, this episode would have been a lot cooler if we got more detail on certain characters or certain actors' point of views of characters
yeah.
besides just Hayden and Christian.
I would
But
like more from the Grand Inquisitor.
yeah,
Like that would have been cool, and even like
mhm,
the fifth brother would have been cool. Like he didn't even get any talk time.
they just talked about him.
Yeah, like it would just been cool. Like
Yeah,
obviously, like these people have other castings and roles and jobs and lives, so they not everyone can be interviewed, and I can
yep.
get that, but
Well,
I don't know.
and even like when they interviewed Aunt Maru and Uncle Owen, like you can tell that it was like right after this recording because
Well, they had their clothes.
they still had their stuff on, but it seemed like they're like, all right, so we got to finish this behind the scenes stuff. So let's actually bring in Hayden and bring in Ewan and like record this whole behind the
Yeah,
scene thing, and then we
I,
have
I
like bits to add in. And
I always think it's funny because when you hear some certain actors and actresses for behind the scenes, because you don't realize that they're not like American. And so Aunt Beru
oh
had
yeah,
an Australian accent when she was just talking, being
yep,
interviewed. I'm like, oh, okay, she's an
yep.
Australian or whatever. So I just think it's funny when that happens. I don't expect it, and then it just surprises me. So, let's see. I really thought it was cool how um, Hodge's character was like the actor was like I went back and rewatched all the movies,
hmm
and my portrayal of this fake Jedi is just like someone mimicking what they know from the movies, like just copying. I thought that was just a
Super dramatic way he threw his
well,
hood
like
up
it's just
and
like well, like a kid when you
yep.
do like
He
pretending to
acted
be a
like a
Jedi.
kid essentially.
Like it was just okay in the movies. I just see the Jedi do this with their hand, and that's what they do. So he mimicked that as a fake Jedi. Like I thought that was just a
Yeah.
really cool approach and smart way to go about that character.
Because the whole point of his character, right, is for you to understand that he's fake.
Right,
Like that was his view of it. He's
right,
like, I'm a fake character. I'm not a Jedi. So I'm a person in a show acting like I'm a character in the show, but I'm acting in the show
an actor
as a
playing an actor.
exactly. So what's the best way to do that? Be a horrible actor. That's the best way to portray actors
kind
in
of,
shows.
kind of like there's that scene um in the third Hunger Games movie when like Katniss Everdeen is supposed to be like a spokesman, like on like a commercial that's like broadcast throughout the whole like
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And like, okay, here's the thing. I love Jennifer Lawrence as an actress. I honestly think that as an actress, like acting out things, I think
Yeah.
she's probably the best in all of Hollywood.
Wow.
And and
You hear
like,
her here first.
but her like when she's like trying to be this random person, like in the show, like acting like doesn't know how to act. She was like the best
Bad
at
acting.
bad
Yeah.
acting. I so always
I think
think about that
I
scene.
think
It's just so
that's
funny.
like the best way to do it because it shows like it right away you knew that he wasn't a real Jedi.
Right. I was like, something
Like,
felt off, but I'm
yeah,
like,
this feels sketchy. Like, what is this magic? Like, what? He's not a Jedi. We know he's not a Jedi. Like, when I watched it, I remember like even doing the watch party, I was like, he's not a Jedi. This doesn't feel right. And then he's not. And he was
yeah,
using magnets and stuff. And
I
yeah,
think I just think that was cool how that all came together
hmm
for that presentation of that character.
yeah. It's but it's also weird that we got a more detailed character like about him and not like like.
I thought it was funny how they had wire work on him for that force push, and he
Mhm.
slammed into the wall. And he's like, "Oh, that was
Yeah,
a lot harder than I thought it was going to be."
that looked rough. I was
That
like,
was
jeez.
that's like a it was like a metal looked like a metal wall. Like it's just like usually like they make it so like the camera is like you can't see what's behind him, so there's like a pad. But he
They
just went
wanted one scene.
straight into the wall on water. He's
Dude,
like,
it looked
"Ugh."
rough. It looked painful.
uh,
But the whole time I was watching this, I'm like, how can I just get a job on set? Like, what do I have to do? These people look like my age or younger. Like, what are they doing that I'm not doing right
dude,
in life? Like, I don't understand how I just want to be in the background giving people water.
you know how many lawyers you need to get to like to sit and like read the whatever the non-disclosure like you
Oh,
get
so
you get
crazy.
so in trouble if you break the leak the smallest thing or
Oh yeah.
like everyone's phones are taken away. Like, you're not allowed to take any pictures like unless you're
Oh
like
yeah,
on
yeah.
set for the purpose of being a photographer. Like
hmm
you're not allowed to have your cell phone. You're not allowed to like if you record anything. That's like it's pretty bad. So
Yeah, I like that. I love the way they were talking about that scene with Vader for the first time when they first saw Vader and
oh how
how
there's extra people on set because they just wanted to like see him.
everyone wanted to see this scene. And yeah, Ewan's like, why are there so many people here? Like, yeah, there's a lot of people here, but it seems like a lot of more people, like people that probably shouldn't be on set is on set right now. Like,
It's like
what's going on?
the pizza delivery guy like, hey, I got my pizzas. Like, what's
He's like,
going on?
wait, what? Vader's here?
That'd
I'm
be
gonna
so
stay. I
funny.
want to watch this.
Like it's funny because like when you watch like if you like are watching through credits like to see if like there's like mid credit scene or post credit scene like in Marvel movies and stuff like
Mhm.
sometimes you'll see like special thanks to this restaurant that for catering like
Yeah,
I don't know like some delivery person came so it's
Chick-fil-A is
yeah like it's just funny
yeah.
like they were on set they didn't realize that they probably don't even know who they're
Well, they're probably not allowed to. They probably just have to drop it off at the door.
probably but for all that many people you got like driving like vans of food probably
Yeah.
but
But yeah, I just thought, and then how they were talking about how like the Vader in that scene, she was trying to portray it as like an old horror movie, like a monster, and you
yeah
don't see a really good version of
right
him right away because he's moving in and out the shadows really fast and stuff. And I was like thinking about that. I was like, yeah, that scene when I first watched that scene was so intense. Like I
yeah
was on the edge of my seat that whole time. Like it was so good. And I think like I watched Prey this weekend. Have you watched it yet?
no I know a lot of people talk about it but
Bro, I mean, you don't have to watch Predator movies, you don't have to like any of them, but Prey was such a good movie,
I,
and if like,
that's
it
what I
made me
heard
think about that. It made me think of that movie, like, right away. I'm like, "Oh, yeah," because in Prey, it was, like, the same, like, he's in the shadows, and you don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden people are dying, and why, and, like, yeah, so they did a pretty good job at doing that.
cool
Yeah.
well Drew we got some breaking news
Nuh-uh.
we got some breaking news
Oh, what?
and I got to play a special message for
Oh,
this
okay.
breaking news that came in.
Oh,
So
no.
let's listen to this breaking news for everyone listening. This is top notch. You heard it here first. Let's listen to a special message.
Hey everyone, Lucy here from Wild Space Channel 66, and I'm pleased to tell you that we've received a distress signal. Well, that part's not pleasant, but what is great is that you can help. According to this group of individuals, a Star Wars audio drama was created by Empire Radio listeners sending in voicemails. It's all original, it's all entertaining, and it's all audio and no visuals. That's where you come in. They need you listeners to send in your own art to illustrate these voicemails. You don't need to be super experienced, and you choose the medium. Some examples include Lego, digital art, painting, and black melon sculptures? That's a new one. Anyways, the process is super easy. Just look in the description for a link that will take you straight to a Google Doc. Inside, you will find clear and helpful instructions on how to submit your art. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
All right.
All right, we have breaking news.
Breaking news right there, Lucy.
So,
the chat's like, wait, oh, it's just Lucy.
oh, what?
the chat's like, they're like hoping that like maybe a trailer drop right now, and they're all gonna go run and watch it. But no,
but yes, so I had Lucy make some ads for us for the VCU Illustration Project. So she made 4 of them for us, and so we'll be cycling through those until this project is done. So every week I'll just kind of rotate them just so there's some variety. But because I noticed, because I don't know if you ever look at the analytics of our podcast.
Oh, I do.
But usually only about half the people finish the episode. And so half our audience does not get to the voicemails. So they don't know about our call to or our socials or anything. So they don't.
So cool. What do you?
So they don't know about the VCU Illustration Project. So now we're doing early on in the episodes, especially now that Andor's coming on, we're going to be exposing people to the VCU Illustration Project. And so Lucy has these commercials. And so they're 4 different styles, different ways of presenting this thing. So that was the first one, our breaking news from.
Also, go follow us on all our socials because apparently they don't know about it.
Yeah, click the link in the description.
Yes, just go to the description right there.
But yes, so if you are listening and you've never heard of the VCU Illustration Project, go click that link. It's going to be right in the description. You don't even have to go to our landing page that we always talk about, which you might not even know about because you don't finish. But it's easy, 1 click, and it'll explain everything on how if you are an artist, like Lucy said, if you can draw, paint, whatever, do sculptures, we want you to submit your art for this project. It'll be super fun. And this last weekend, we got a ton in because last episode,
I saw that.
People were talking. So I was working hard all weekend, putting these photos into the video and labeling it, and it was a lot of work. But we have
I saw we got a lot.
Yeah, I think we got total so far 20 maybe. Or something like that. So we're a 1/5 or a quarter way through.
The chat said we only have 66 more to go.
Something like that. Something like that. So, and we did get our first one where it was multiple images for a single voicemail, which I like because sometimes a lot of these voicemails, there's a lot going on and one image is hard to capture, but he kind of took, it was actually Yellow Snow in the chat. So,
yeah, Yellowstone was the one that updated me with the numbers. So
it's cool is because it's one scene and there's 3 parts to that scene, and each part of that scene has an image. And I was like, that's really helpful.
Yeah, I saw those.
So it's really fun. We got a lot of different ideas or different submissions in. So if you can draw, paint, digital art, whatever, we'd love to see it. You don't have to be the best artist in the world.
Draw a stick figure, man.
I'll accept it. But yes.
Haters.
So anyway, we'll be hearing a commercial from Lucy until this project is done. We're hoping I can have it completed by Christmas so it can be a Christmas present to y'all. But
from Jeremy,
it's an hour-and-a-half long movie basically. So
good Lord.
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch it.
Yes. All right. Anyway,
breakdown episode on that.
I don't know, but I know people have said they've wanted
watch party, huh?
They wanted Andrew to do a reaction to the whole thing. I don't know if we can get him to do that for him to
That'd
do
be
an
cool.
hour and a half. Him and
Did you see
Michaela?
that Andrew wrote something to us on IG today?
Yeah, because I sent him a picture on IG.
Oh, okay.
Did you see what I sent him?
No, I just saw that he wrote. And I almost fell over.
Makes sense.
I almost fell over. I was like, wait, I don't.
Especially because he had a typo in it and he fixed it. And I'm like, if you didn't know the typo, Like, you wouldn't know what the heck he's
I don't know if I saw the image. I'm gonna pull it up now.
All right, but yes. Anyway, we got. Hopefully by Christmas we can have it done. If not, that's fine. But or even sooner. But send in your art. Anyway, back to behind the scenes. Let's see. We left off on Haja. I really liked Roken's character. How he talked about how he's just like a huge fanboy about Star Wars, and how he would just act out Star Wars with his siblings and do saber duels, and how he still today listens to like Star Wars soundtrack music, which is cool.
Yeah, Ice Cube. I mean, apparently Ice Cube loves it too because he let it go on in his house. So
what I was like, this I didn't expect that. I don't know.
Me either.
But I don't know. I thought that of all the characters or actors, I should say, like he was probably the most fanboy of all of them.
He was so excited. He was like, "Dude, my outfit is like lit. I look fire. I'm super pumped." And then he like almost cried when they went on that one ship, like just being in that thing. Like, yeah, it was really cool. I can't wait to like hear interviews about his experience of this. Like, yeah,
right.
I don't know. He's such a good actor. Like, I hate Ice Cube, love Ice Cube, but he made an awesome kid because his kid is an amazing actor and he knows what he's doing.
Right. But now then after this is kind of when they started to do they brought in Hayden Christensen and did a lot of his discussion. I thought the very interesting thing that they said about like the story, okay, we kind of figured it out, like at the end of the series, Obi-Wan is able to let go of Anakin, knowing that he's gone, and that gives him peace, and he can move on from that attachment. Attachment was holding him back and making him weak. But I didn't catch, like, even though we've talked about it, that when Palpatine confronts Vader, he's like, your attachment to your old master is weakening you, and you need to let go. And I think it was Deborah said, Vader needs to let go of Obi-Wan so that he can reach the potential of his height of power and become a full Sith. I thought that was very interesting that they both had the same struggle of being attached to the other person, and that'll weaken them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we've had this discussion about the attachment idea of the Jedi and like what exactly does that mean, because we've talked about in this series how it was Obi-Wan's attachment to Leia and Luke that gave him the strength to break free from being buried under the ground and ultimately defeat Vader. So there's this back and forth between the good things that attachment can bring, but also how it can bring bad things. And I thought that was just a really cool insight on their stories. And so I wonder if after Palpatine confronted Vader, if he did let go of Obi-Wan or if he just lied about that. I don't know,
but I'm going to say this a million times. Give us a Vader show and we'll find out.
The whole Skywalker saga is about Vader. Especially, the first 6 movies and Rebels and Clone Wars. It's all about one character.
No, but give us the show, man. A live action Vader show where he goes and kills Jedis with the Inquisitors. Super intense. Maybe rated R. Some people might not like that.
There will never be a rated R or TVMA.
I know. But
hopefully they can bring it to the edge of that line.
The edge. Well, they brought it to the edge in this show, honestly.
A little bit. They could.
I love that when they're explaining, she's like, make sure you reach out far enough as far as the lightsaber would let you, when she was talking about like Reva cutting off the hand of that person. And the person was like holding their hand out, like, this is where my hand will be when you cut it off. Like, it was so funny. Like, they showed that out of everything. It was funny.
Yeah, that was whatever. That was kind of weird, but
I thought it was funny.
But we see Darth Vader and his tidy, whiteys,
tidy blackies.
They're his black briefs in the back of the tank or whatever. I never thought I'd ever see Darth Vader in his underwear. I don't know.
There's some lady out there. Her dream came true.
Okay.
Or not.
Anyway, family friendly show. Move on from Vader's underwear.
You brought it up.
Well, I'll just make it count, but you did not keep it.
Got that.
That's it.
Timestamp.
Right after that, they start talking about Vivian again, and Ewan makes the parallel that he had to study Alec Guinness to become Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Vivian had to study Carrie Fisher to become her character, like where they did the same thing but at different eras in the career. Like it's just that was a cool thing that she has to take that. Like we talked about, like the mantle of Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia is a huge role to fill, and she knocked it out of the park. Like
knocked it out of the park.
Perfect. I still think she was the best part of the whole show. Like
she's definitely up there for me too. I don't know the best, but she's definitely up there.
Then I really liked how Hayden says, because he was like getting his makeup put on, like whatever, and he's like, I've always believed that there's always a little Anakin left in Vader at all times. And he's like, and I'll always remember what George said, that he's still the chosen one. Like,
there you go. No more debates.
That was a little emotional. Like, that's just like, dang. Like, yeah, we've talked about like early on, back like the first like few months of Empire Radio's history about the chosen one and what that means, who it exactly is, and all that stuff. And so George still believed that Vader was the chosen one, and so, or Anakin within Vader was still the chosen. Whatever you want, however you want to go about that, but no, it's just sad. I still can't believe Anakin turned to the dark side. Like, I just want to watch Revenge of the Sith, and he doesn't turn to the dark side. Like, it's just maybe this
Director
time.
Cut when he doesn't. Everything's happy.
Alternate ending.
Alternate ending.
The TVA shows up. that was a
what are you doing?
Marvel thing. But
dude, what if? Make a what if of that.
They need to do a what if
Star Wars. That'd be cool.
That'd be so good.
That'd be fun.
Now I don't know if you caught this, but they're doing like a behind the scenes like of them with the final duel, like in the rocks, and it sounded like on set they were playing Duel of the Fates. Like, it wasn't like the background music for the documentary that they put on it. It sounded like behind the scenes.
Someone was like just listening to it.
It was for them to set the mood for them as they were dueling in the rocks. They were playing Duel of the Fates. I have to go back and look at that.
I didn't hear that, but that's awesome.
But I was like, that was so much cooler. Honestly, like the music in that scene is great, but they still should have put Duel of the Fates.
I don't understand. Like, I understand the marketing aspect and like how they threw it in the trailer, but it is annoying that we never got it in the show. Yeah. That was like, I mean, we talked about that on that episode with Nelda. Like, it was kind of they dropped the ball a little bit by not giving us Duel of the Fates theme. But
yeah, but you can go on YouTube and people have edited in. So like,
oh really?
Oh yeah, that's like the day after people already edited in like.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Different music, but yeah, and now I almost missed it, but did you see? They started the credits and then they went to the Star Celebration. In the show?
I missed it. Dang it! I knew there's something after.
Why wouldn't you look? Why wouldn't you look?
No.
It's literally like 30 seconds of credits, and then or even less, and they go into.
I was like, "Oh, I'm done." Well,
behind the scenes,
behind
the scenes for Star Wars Celebration, and this them like it was like brief, just a couple minutes of them just like people being hyped and all that stuff.
Did you see Lucy?
I was actually kind of looking for Lucy, like to see her walk in the background.
Lucy, is that you right there?
Because I think she was in that. I can't remember. Because I know she saw.
She's in the chat right now. She'll let us know.
Because I think she was there for that whole big. I know, but I know there was also they did like off-site at movie theaters too. but I think she saw it in the main auditorium.
Yeah, she saw it with everyone. Yes.
Right. So I was looking for Lucy, like to see if there's any like.
Lucy, did you see yourself in there? Let us know.
Go watch. I don't know if she even watched it yet.
I don't know. She's in the chat right now.
But I was looking for Lucy, and I can't remember. Wasn't like who else? Someone else was. Someone else was it Diffused Twist that went? Might have been Diffused Twist that went to Star Celebration. I don't know if I'd recognize Diffused Twist as easily.
She hasn't. She says she hasn't watched it yet.
But I was looking.
Oh well, you were in the room.
You're in the room. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe you're up in like the nosebleed seats and like the big pan.
Maybe you know where you were and you'll be able to screenshot it. And email us the image. That'd be cool. No one else has to see it.
It's like the upper deck, like
zoomed in.
It's like arrow. She just draws an arrow. Like I'm sitting right there. We can't see her, but that'd be funny.
That'd be cool because you know what that would mean, Lucy. You are on Disney Plus.
You're on Disney Plus, and potentially millions of people have seen you and don't even realize it. But there's so many people there.
You then they have heard us. There you go, Lucy. You made it.
But like they do like close-ups on a lot of people. Like they're interviewing like people quickly and it's like going through the crowds and stuff. Like there's people that are going to be watching this and they see themselves. Like that would freak me out if I saw myself.
That'd be so cool. I would just rewind. I would like share that everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be so dope. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. Like, I liked it. I thought it was a good watch.
Like I said at the beginning, there were some really cool parts, but like I said, I think it's a lot of it was very rushed and it was very brief on a lot of things.
Yeah,
they didn't really
it was rushed
in depth.
And we didn't get what we wanted.
Yeah, but when they did go in depth and give some details, it was really interesting. So definitely still recommend watching the behind the scenes.
The chat's like, Lucy, you should have a sign that said VCU. Hold it up.
VCU for life or VCU forever.
Empire Radio for life. That's what you should have.
Oh, dang it.
Dang it, Lucy, you dropped the ball.
Oh, no, she's done more for us than...
Just kidding.
All right, well, before we transition over to voicemail times, we should probably listen to our sponsor for today.
Our ad.
Our ad. Let's listen to a word from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, cool. Well, anything else, Drew, before we transition over to voicemail time?
No, just overall, so far, Disney Plus Day has not been the best for Star Wars.
I know they released something for Andor, which is...
It released an Andor thing, but it's 100% a spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't even... I just like went on my laptop and like scanned it like to see the preview bubble. Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's scenes. I don't want to see any of this. So
no, I watched like the first like half a minute, 30 seconds, and they already say who the kid is. Like they literally spoil it. When I said, are we going to do this? Because we were talking about like maybe we should break that down because it's smaller, because we didn't know if Jeremiah would have behind the scenes, you guys. We didn't know if Jeremiah would have time to watch this before tonight. But then when you said that, I went and watched it. I was like, yeah, no, we can't. Like, I don't even want to watch it. So if you guys are out there and you see the Andor, what is it, sneak peek?
Sneak peek, whatever.
Do not watch it. It is a straight up spoiler. Like, you know who the kid is, the story about, like, it's just it's. I mean,
is it something? Oh, I'm not even gonna ask. Never mind.
I mean, I called it, but
don't listen to
but
watch that.
either way, it's just not. It's like, what are they doing? They gave us a whole scene too, didn't they? That clip.
Like a couple weeks ago, they had this clip. I'm like,
I
that's
still
all
haven't
I
even watched.
need. It was
I
a
haven't
great
even
clip.
watched that. I haven't even watched that because I was like, I'm gonna do a reaction video to it, and then it's like, wait, I don't want to get that spoiled. Like, I want to be, I want to be in the moment when I watch it. And trailers enough. Like, people, I know a lot of people that don't watch trailers because they don't want to
Right.
be spoiled.
Right.
And like, they're milking this, which for me, this makes me feel like we're not getting. They're not ready for Bad Batch yet. Because
you're always like the most scared about every little paranoid thing.
We're not gonna get Bad Batch trailer until after the show drops because I don't think they want to pull any.
We're not gonna get a trailer for Bad Batch. I don't know.
No.
If we don't get it this weekend, we're not getting it at all. So,
because I don't think they want to pull any eyes off of Andor at this point. They want people to renew their Disney Plus accounts for Andor and Pinocchio.
And that came out today. Pinocchio live action.
Pinocchio.
Tom Hanks as was it Geppetto?
Honestly, yeah, I actually want to watch it. It kind of looks good.
But did you watch Love and Thunder yet?
No, I also want to watch that. That's on my list.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend because I love it.
I'm not gonna watch it this weekend. You're not gonna watch it this weekend.
Why not?
Because one of our favorite shows are coming out this weekend.
Oh, there's that too. Dang it.
I
got a lot of
Karate Dad is coming out this weekend, you guys.
I gotta do a lot this weekend.
Steph calls it.
I still haven't gotten a TV yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get a TV. We gotta figure that out, Drew. We'll talk.
Yeah, we need to talk.
All right, we've been babbling on. This is why people will probably cut off halfway through the episode.
Oh, haters!
So let's transition over to voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right, cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 voicemails tonight.
Wow, very good.
So first one, let's listen from a message from Addie.
Hello, Empire Radio. It is me, Padawan Addie. I can't stay serious for 5 seconds. Today I have to go get photos taken for my Taekwondo school poster, and this brung an idea into a question into my head. If you could pose as any Star Wars character or any Jedi for a picture, who would you be? Personally, Jedi-wise, I would be Ahsoka Tano. Any Star Wars character, I would be Omega. Jeremiah, you know what I mean. I play her in my film, and I was her for Halloween last year, and I'm probably going to be her for Halloween this year. Anyway, I hope I'm running out of time. Hope you have an awesome day, and may the Force be with you. Bye!
Well,
all right, cool. So
your
basically,
parents will save money on Halloween this year, apparently. So they don't have to buy costumes twice, so that's good.
Right. So the question, basically, like if we would cosplay as something and like people would pose with us and take pictures, what
Jedi and non-Jedi characters?
Just anything, whatever.
Are we doing 2 like she did, or just 1?
You can do whatever you want. It's our show. We can say whatever we want.
That's true. Well, I already have 2. That's why I was wondering.
Well, go ahead. What are your answers?
Well, Maul. Duh. And then I would want to do either Mando or Boba. Probably. I've already had. I was Boba 1 year for Halloween.
You could do Mando season 2 Boba Fett really easily.
Okay. Chill.
Yeah, I think like if I were to do like a cosplay thing, if I joined the 501st, do like their thing, I'd want to do Rex. Ooh. Like he's my favorite clone, and I really like his like the whole, I don't know what you call it, like the little dress thing. I don't know what they call that. I don't know my skirt. I don't know what it's called. Whatever. I thought it looks cool. I think that the markings on his helmet looks cool.
His helmet's sick.
I think I could do. It'd be cool to do like Hondo or something. Get all that.
Hondo would be fun. Yeah.
Hondo.
Grow your hair out, get dreads.
I wish I could do like Cad Bane, but you have to be a certain person to do Cad Bane. Like you can't, not anyone can pull that off. So
True. You have to be tall.
I could do Kanan Jarrus. I think I could pull that off if I grew
We
out my
talked about
hair.
that last week.
I can grow out my hair, get a man bun, and I can grow out my beard a little bit. I could pull off.
Yeah.
Kanan.
Yeah. I wish I could play
Dax. That would be your dream to be Dax.
Obi-Wan.
Dax. Whatever. I can never remember Dex or Dax. I can't.
Dax.
I can't.
Dex.
It's like we've been doing this for.
They need to make a figure of him. Someone needs to customize.
They don't have one?
No. If they do, it's 3 3/4. They don't have a 6-inch figure, but they should definitely have one.
They don't have a black series of him.
No, that'd be so sick. I would totally buy that.
Smells like fry oil.
It just smells like McDonald's. That's all. It just smells like.
Man, when I was on the bus on my way home from work, we go by a McDonald's, and some girl got on and she had her McDonald's, and I could smell it, and I was like, I was about to ask her.
I was
like, can I get a couple fries? But I didn't say that.
She'd be like,
she was also like 14, so that would have been
she
like,
would have pulled that thing so quick. Let me off right now.
All right, thank you, Addie, for that question. It's always great hearing from you. Next 2 voicemails are from Darth Bane, so let's listen to number 1.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Darth Bane. I got another question for you guys. How would you rank the Spider-Man actors? I know a lot of people go Tom Holland first, and then Tobey Maguire second, and Andrew Garfield last. I personally love Andrew Garfield, so he's my first pick, and then Tom Holland is second, and Maguire is third. I think they all do a good job. I just really love Andrew Garfield as an actor, and I think he plays Peter Parker really well and Spider-Man. So let me know what you guys think. May the Force be with you.
Before we answer that, though, it's kind of funny. We need to play a message from Lucy, voicemail from Lucy, because she has basically the same question. So let's listen to that from Lucy.
Well.
Hi everyone, it's Lucy, and I gotta say, it is hilarious everything that goes on in the chat without Jeremiah realizing. You completely missed the entire chat revolution that happened last week, which has been dubbed the CCU, or Chat Cinematic Universe. Speaking of cinematic universes, do we all think we should start the next edition of the VCU on next year's Star Wars Day, assuming we finish the first one by then? Or are we all so tired of it by now that we should take a longer break, or even just never revisit it? Anyway, since my last Marvel update, I have watched all the way through WandaVision, and am now going back to watch the Spider-Man movies per Jeremiah's instructions. I'm turning into a pretty big Marvel fan at this point, but don't worry, Star Wars is still number 1. Speaking of which Spider-Man movie is your favorite? And even further, who do you think plays Spider-Man the best? Thanks for everything, and may the Force be with you.
All right. Well, let's before we get to the other things in her voicemail, we should answer the Spider-Man stuff, because that's Darth Bane's question. It's hard to say, because all 3 are very different. Like, the movies themselves are very different. They're different eras. Like, the original trilogy was from the early 2000s. And I think there's like a nostalgia factor with Tobey Maguire. I do think that overall I like Tom Holland's overall like character as Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Like, I really like him as an actor. So he's probably my favorite. It's kind of hard to say. It's a toss-up between the other 2, just because like the Tobey Maguire movies I think were better than the Andrew Garfield movies. But like, I don't know if I would say that Tobey Maguire was a better portrayal of Spider-Man of Spider-Man. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think
it's hard to tell, because Tobey Maguire does not look like a high school kid.
That's true too. Like, Tom Holland actually looks like a high schooler. It's believable in those first movies, whereas 30-year-old Tobey Maguire playing a high schooler was a little weird.
Uh,
I do think that Andrew Garfield is a very, very good actor. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his stuff, but Hacksaw. Have you seen Hacksaw Ridge?
of course.
Dude, that movie will mess me up, dude. Like,
So good.
it's so good.
Have you
Like,
seen what is it called?
Th-
Bang Bang Boom or whatever it's called.
no, I've only seen
Oh.
Spider-Man and Hacksaw Ridge with him. I don't think I've seen anything else. But
Dude,
there's
so good.
there's a scene in the second Andrew Garfield movie, or the second one. You know what it is when you see it. It's one of the best scenes of
Yep.
acting I've ever seen in my entire life, and you'll see it, and it's like I think it's a one shot, and it's just very long, and it's just super good, and I really like that. But then
Yeah.
also Lucy asked, "Oh, you should go say your ranking."
Yeah, mine is Andrew Garfield. I think he is my favorite Spider-Man, and I love him as an actor too. I think he's one of the better actors out there right now. And I think like anything he's in, it's mind boggling how good he is. Like he's really good. And Baby Boone, like it's a musical and he's singing in it, and he's like it's so good. So I love him so much. I think there's parts of those movies that he's in that I really enjoy. Um, I think the best Spider-Man movie is the one that just came out
Yes.
because it highlights.
No spoilers. Remember,
Well, true,
don't spoil it.
that's true. But I'm just saying, like, he's really good, and I think Tobey Maguire, like, yeah, it's a nostalgia, but honestly, like after the second one, I did
Oh, yeah.
not.
The third one was terrible.
I did not even want to watch the third one. Like,
Yeah, I remember I saw that in the theaters with a friend in high school, and
Mhm.
it was just terrible.
yeah, I remember when it came out, everyone in my high school was like, "Oh, we got to go see the new Spider-Man." I was not about it at all, and I watched. I'm like, "Yeah, why? This is what I told you. This is stupid." and then, and yeah, I mean, I appreciate him. I think the stuff he's done as an actor too, he's really good. But yeah, I think Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, and even in this movie, the newer one that I like, is really
Yeah,
good.
No Way Home, the most recent one.
I think it's the best Spider-Man movie.
It's my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah,
It's my favorite superhero
would say.
movie, and it's just perfect in every single way.
I think it's my favorite. Yeah, it's definitely actually. Logan's a pretty close second favorite Marvel movie,
Logan is pretty good,
but
or pretty amazing, but it's a very different superhero movie. It's
is it even considered VCU?
VCU.
Yeah, or
You
not
mean
VCU?
MCU?
MCU. Sorry, MCU. See, this is how much you guys need to.
Well, technically anything Marvel is canon now because of the introduction of the
buyout.
multiverse. So
Yeah.
like they're eventually going to bring
So,
X-Men
yes.
in. And so like they technically have brought it in. So it's yes, it is part of the MCU in a sense, but it's all from a certain point of view, we should say.
Sure.
Um,
Well, next week, hopefully, you guys will hear my opinion on the new Thor movie.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, I'll watch it if I have time.
All right. And then Lucy mentioned other things. So the CCU, Chat Cinematic Universe. So I should say last week I went back and watched or read the comments during the voicemails. But before that I didn't look at. So I guess I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. I don't know what's going on.
You need to buy your a long cord.
That is true. So I can have my second monitor
just for the chat.
I don't think I could I don't think I can lead the conversation and look at that at the same time. Like I can't multitask like that.
Well, there's parts when I'm talking.
Yeah, but I
I
can't look at the chat and hear what you're saying because then you're gonna like say something and I'm gonna like, huh? What'd you say?
Oh well,
it's gonna be really hard for me to.
You'll just have to get used to it.
I'll
Just
have
do
to
it at the mid to the end of it. Just kind of read, because apparently everyone just drops off and stops listening. So,
Well, the
It's
chat
not-
are the faithful. They're the good and faithful
oh
servants
yeah,
of
no,
the Empire. So,
they're the ones that are all getting raises. They're getting ranks.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that we missed from Lucy in that first message from her? CCU, Spider-Man.
I don't think so.
I don't know. She'll let us know in the chat if we forgot something.
True.
All right. So that was Darth Bane's first voicemail. Let's listen to his second voicemail.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Darth Bane again. For my second voicemail of the week, I have another question for you guys. Since it's fall and football season is approaching, what is your guys' favorite football team? If you have one. I know some people don't actually like football, but if you guys do watch football, what's your favorite team? My favorite is the Bengals for NFL, and then for college, I have to go with Ohio State, but I don't watch college as much as NFL. Have a good week, and may the force be with you.
All right, Drew.
Why me? Like,
Because you watch football way more than me, so you're the fan of the two of us.
yeah, sure. I'm missing Thursday Night Football game, first game of the season right now. We missed it.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Push that button. There you go.
But my favorite team, my diehard team, the team that I cry every year about, the Vikings. But the team that I love just as much is KC. The Chiefs are, because that's where I was born, so I'm allowed to root for them. So I've been rooting for them forever, and they've been just as bad as the Vikings for majority of my life until last like 5 years. So
5 years is the majority of your life?
No, until the last 5 years.
Oh, okay. I misheard you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think you're a little older than 10.
I'm older than 5. College, the Gophers, but honestly, like I do not follow college football like at all, because it's hard enough to follow sports in general, and it's also hard enough to follow sports and know players. And then with college, it's like, dude, they change every like 2 years, maybe, if that. Like,
Yeah.
if they're good, they're not going to be in college that long, because they're going to get like, I think, well, I guess college they go for football, but it's just too much to follow. And the Gophers are okay. Apparently this year we're good. I don't know. Like I'll go to a Gopher game when I get free tickets. It's about the only time I ever go to a Gophers game. Yeah. But
so
football, yeah, I follow football a decent amount.
do you do fantasy football?
I used to do it with like my church and my brothers and stuff, but we didn't do it this year.
All right.
But
so
typically I do.
Your answers are Chiefs and the Vikings.
Yes.
I'm in Minnesota. I would say that I root for the Vikings, but I don't like actually watch them really.
Yeah.
Like I watch the Super Bowl every year, but that's it. And then I kind of just pick a team and root for them, I guess. And the Vikings are never there, so I never root for them in the Super Bowl.
Not since we've been alive. Well, actually,
No, in our lifetime, we haven't seen them. Last time it was like in the 60s was last time they went to the Super Bowl. There's times when they've gotten to like the conference championship game in our lifetime.
Yeah, multiple times.
There was one time in the late 90s when
Minneapolis Miracle.
Gary Anderson missed the field goal that would have sent us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and
there's literally a whole thing about that on How I Met Your Mother.
And then when we had Brett Favre, when he came from the Packers, the Saints that we played in the conference championship and lost?
I was there in New Orleans.
Really? You were there at that game?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't tell you that? Yeah. So I was at the game before against Dallas. We won. And then I was like, we won. My cousin lives in New Orleans.
How much did those tickets cost?
My cousin bought them.
Dang.
Yeah, and it was at the Metrodome. I don't know. It was probably like $100, $200 tickets.
Probably way more than that. Were you way up top or something?
It was We had decent seats actually, but I
Oh.
don't know. So we went to that game. That was like the third game we went to that year too. Honestly, like that was the most we've ever gone to. I don't know. And I had my Brett Favre jersey. So pumped, but so and I hated him up until the point where he got
Yeah,
drafted. to
that was so
the-
funny. Everybody hated Brett Favre, and then
I
everybody
still
loved him.
remember when we were on. I was on a bus at school going on a field trip, and then the biggest news was when Moss got traded back to the Vikings for that 1 week, and it was like everyone was pumped because we got Moss, we have Favre, we're gonna win the Super Bowl, and then he does something stupid, and then the coach just gets rid of him like a week later. It was so dumb. I'm still salty about that, but yeah. And then right after we won, I called my cousin. I'm like, we won, and then she's like, well, I have tickets to the game because she has season tickets.
Oh,
to
that's how
the
she got
Saints.
tickets.
To the Saints.
Right.
Yeah, and then so I got 3 of my buddies, and we drove all the way down to New Orleans. We missed school for a whole week, and we
You were
hung out.
in high school?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was in high school. It was my sophomore year. We all like I went with 2
So
seniors.
you're like 16 years old
Mhm.
going to Super Bowl by yourself?
Drove to New Orleans without a license. With
Are you serious?
yeah, I didn't
None
have
of
my
you-
license, but my 2 friends did. But I
Oh,
also
okay.
drove illegally. Won't do that. I
Empire
do not-
Radio does not endorse
not-
illegally driving of any sort.
illegally flying. You have to get your pilot license from the Empire. But yeah, so yeah, then we went and we lost, and other things happened at the game that I'm not going to say on here. But let's just say I cried.
Yeah, I can see
It was bad. So,
All right. Thank you for that question, Darth
Yeah.
Bane. And I don't watch college stuff either, so
yeah, Colin.
I would say though, if I were to get into football, I'd rather watch college than the NFL, just because college is just so much more energetic and fun. And
I think the reason why we probably don't is that because the Gophers have never been good.
well, they've been good on and off, just like any other team. Like wasn't it a
Like-
few years ago, they were like pretty good.
There was a few years ago that
Like,
we did
even
pretty
then,
good, but then we
you don't even
choked
have to
all.
be good. It's still always college games are always sold out. Like you got the marching
it's
band doing
fun.
music. Like it's
Oh yeah, no, they're fun. Like
It's just
to
a
go to,
better
they're really fun
atmosphere.
games.
yeah,
And that
that's what I mean.
stadium, well, I was gonna say the TCF. It's not called that anymore. I forget what the new name of it.
Well, because TCF is now they changed names. They got bought out.
What bank?
I can't remember. It's,
I don't know.
it's
So they got bought
green.
out.
It's green
and
color. I don't know.
Yeah. So whatever that stadium, that's a fun stadium to go to.
All right, cool. All right, so now we have 2 messages from Emperor Palpatine. So let's listen to number 1.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Emperor Palpatine calling. I just wanted to say that I'm going to be taking a break from the whole Sith thing for a while. You know, my advisors, they told me that I should go to the beaches of Scarif and soak up some rays, so that's what I'm doing. I'm not enjoying it much. I like being a Sith Lord, but I will admit, it's relaxing. I've been listening to your podcasts with Mos Amida and Grand Moff Tarkin, and they seem to enjoy them. You know, without the First Order around, it's just me and these boys hanging out at the beach. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted on my vacation. Maybe something interesting will happen.
Well, Palpatine, we watched the summer Lego vacation,
Yeah,
and we know what you did at the Scarif beaches. Like we've seen it. So
true.
I
And I
wonder if he's seen it
Maybe he
since
went back.
he was MIA for special training in Canada. If he's
Oh, wow, spoilers.
if he
Jeez.
even knows that Lego movie Summer Vacation is up there, but I
Well,
don't
maybe
know.
that's why he said to that beach.
Maybe I don't know. But let's listen to number 2 from Palpatine.
Hello, Empire Radio. It's Palpatine again, and I'm just so excited about this vacation. I had to call in again. So I know there's a stormtrooper who enjoys writing poetry, but I'm sure he's dead long ago. So I stole his idea, and I wrote my own Palpatine's poetry, if you will. And I've been really enjoying it on this vacation. Here's my first one. Roses are red, violets are blue. My lightning is shocking. Mace Windu knows it's true.
Oh.
You like it, don't you? I know you do. Oh, and here's another one. It's a haiku. A trip to Naboo. I meet many Gungan folks. One is a Sith Lord. I know you know which one I'm talking about. Anyways, I will talk to you again later.
All right, thank you for that Sith poetry you got going on there. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Heard some music in the background too. I don't know if that was beach ambiance or if that was
The hula girls came by apparently.
All right, thank you, Palpatine, for that. So we have one last voicemail from Lucy, her second one of the night.
Hi everyone, it's Lucy. I hope you all had a good Labor Day weekend. First of all, since I've been focusing on Star Wars games this past week for my podcast, I thought I'd ask you what your favorite Star Wars board and card games are, or if you don't really play physical games, then video games work too. I personally really like the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, since I know a lot of really useless minor details about Star Wars. For my other question, not to bring the mood down or anything, but have you ever been in the middle of making an episode and you suddenly just feel like it's so much worse than all of your previous episodes and it just haunts you for the rest of the day and makes you feel really bad? I only ask because I had one such day this Saturday, and while I have escaped all that negativity by now, it was a rough time. And on that note, have a good episode. May the Force be with you.
All right, cool. Thanks, Lucy, for that message.
I don't know. Have we?
As usually what happens is like I'm not looking forward to doing it like beforehand, but then as I'm doing it, it's
depending on the content.
Like there's sometimes Drew and I we just like, all right, we got to figure out what we're gonna
buckle
do.
in and figure it out.
And we always do like behind the scenes stuff, and we're like, okay, I know people don't care about behind the scenes stuff. We look at the views, but like,
yeah.
And so,
but then once we're here
and talking, like it's
like when Tuesday passed for me this week, I was so sad because I felt like something was missing, and it was because I wasn't able to talk about Star Wars.
Right.
So I don't know, and it's kind of different too because we do it live, so it's not like we can go back and redo it. Like what we say is what we get. Yeah. But I also think in the early days, I thought going back at it and thinking about it, like it was very helpful that we did a lot of episodes not live, so we were able to fill it. Like we have the flow.
Like we were able to figure out how to do things.
Yeah. Because like right now I relaunched my other podcast with my wife, and I felt like for the first couple of episodes of relaunching, we didn't really have a flow, and now we do, and now it's fine. But there's a chemistry flow when it comes to talking and like figuring out how to do a podcast, and it's not easy to get that chemistry. And I think I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking for you, Jeremiah, but
it'd be interesting to go back and listen to the Mandalorian podcast when we started to see what that was like.
With our janky mics and like, dude, we didn't even have like the best equipment, bro.
You remember? Stuff?
No, bro. You don't remember? We recorded on 2 different computers. We had to push play record at the same time.
Did we?
You don't remember?
Because
you didn't edit it.
I didn't remember that at all.
It was rough. I mean, it sounded fine, but because we had the horrible purple mic or blue mic, the round circle one.
I don't remember it. It was 2000. It was like around like Star Wars Day of 2019 is when we did like our first trailer breakdown with Josiah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's over 3 years ago when we started that original podcast. So, but yeah, Lucy. So once we're doing the episodes that we're usually doing fine, just because we're in the flow of it and all that. Sorry you had a bad experience with your last.
It happens.
But I
definitely
listened to
happens.
that. I listened because she talked about Star Wars, her favorite Star Wars games, and so I
Mhm.
listened to that. Did you listen to that episode, Drew?
I have not.
Okay. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's something happens in one of her segments, and I laughed so loud.
Well, there you go. So
I really enjoyed that moment. You get a cameo. Maybe Lucy knows who I'm talking about, but there's a cameo, and I laughed so hard. I was like, this is the best thing ever. So even though you had a rough experience making that episode, I still enjoyed it.
So there you go, Lucy.
And so to answer your first question, though, what is our favorite Star Wars games? I don't think I've ever played a Star Wars game other than video games. Which
Lucy said she's happy you liked it, by the way.
Cool. But it is a good kind of inspired me to think maybe we should get some Star Wars games and do some like game nights and just do in-person game nights. And it wouldn't be a podcast, but it would be like just like a vlog type thing. But
yeah, that'd be fun.
Get some Tanner action over and
good old Tan. He talked in the Discord, I saw, but he's still not in the chat. So
he's working right now. So
slacker. But
but yeah,
that'd be cool. We could do maybe just go to Wesley and play games. Hit some double magic up. I don't know. It'd be fun. Something fun. Maybe after con.
We should learn to make or play sabacc.
Well, I was gonna say I have it, but I don't know where the frick it is.
It's somewhere in your basement, I think.
I don't know.
I think it's missing cards too. So
I
don't know. I felt like the deck fell apart, and we kind of like I don't know.
I got it from Galaxy's Edge. My favorite game that Star Wars based game I have, it's downstairs too. You're right, Jeremiah. But I have the episode 1 Monopoly set.
Oh yeah,
and I think that is the best Star Wars Monopoly version ever because the pieces are better shapes, and then you get like the mountains of like the buildings are like the buildings from like I was gonna say Naboo, but I don't think it's Naboo. I think it's
probably Coruscant or something.
Yeah, they're Coruscant buildings, which is kind of cool, and they stack really well. But then like the cards, like the property cards, instead of having like a stack of like cardboard cards on the side, they're like thick, thin pieces of cardboard that sit in slots. So you're actually like you're on it, and then when you buy it, you pull them out. So it's like, or maybe you pull it out and flip it over that like you own it, or no, you pull it out. So like they have, it's like I don't know, it's just a better design, and then the figures are all metal, which is really cool. So you can like have Jar Jar or like Maul and Anakin, like I don't know, it's pretty cool. So I like that version a lot.
Fun. So let us know if you all want us to do the game night one of these days.
Vlog
that up.
Vlogging it up. I haven't done a vlog in a while.
But you still have like footage that Will sent you. Come on,
bro. I don't want to talk about that right now. I have so many videos that I have to edit, and I keep saying that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
All right, well, thank you, Lucy, for your second voicemail. And that's all the voicemails we have tonight. So, yeah. Anything else, Drew, before we go over socials?
Nope.
All right, cool. So, if you have not followed us on Instagram, on Facebook, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, if you haven't joined a Discord, just go on the link in the description, the links.co/Empire Radio, links with 2 eyes. There is a landing page for all that stuff. Just click on that and you can follow us more. There's also a link to, like, from earlier in the episode, we mentioned the VCU Illustration Project. That link is also in the landing page, but it's also going to be in the description. So it's a direct one click for you if you want to submit your art. And then there's also the link for the needlesslynerdy.com podcast network, which we are part of. Go check that out. And our
Also,
fan emails
send
in
us
there too.
voicemails.
And there's the link for the voicemails too. So if you haven't sent a voicemail, we love to hear from you new people.
Yep.
So if you're,
And if
I know that 73% of our audience is from the United States. So that means there's 27% of you listening right now that are not from the United States, and we want to hear from you.
sad, we want to hear from everyone, but
Britain and Germany are 2 and 3 in our list. So German people,
Also,
come on, German people.
True, but Britain they're going through some rough times right now.
Saw that. R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah. There's a king.
So who is it? Henry, or who's King Henry?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow the royal family. Sorry, I'm not a fanboy like you.
Yeah, he's already king. He's the king now, which we've never seen a king before.
Fun. And he's just gonna be there and do nothing, because that's what the British monarch does. Even though they have full power, they could right now. They could take the military,
roll the iron fist
and try and take over
World
the world.
War III. Here we go.
They could. They technically have the power to do that, but that's not going to happen. So, because they're our allies.
First king in 70 years.
That Queen Elizabeth, 70 years reigned as queen.
Yeah, she's a beast.
That's the record for the British monarch, longest single reign.
What is it? Yeah, how many generations is that? Dude, she was born in 1926.
Yeah.
That's up there. Now, people think that she's already been gone and that she's been a hologram for a while.
Oh, okay. Enough of that.
I don't know.
Enough of that.
But yes, I feel for you guys, because it is a big deal. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's not something we understand here in the United States, but I know over in Britain it's more socially like part of the culture, so it means a lot. So if you're a fan listening and you're mourning that, sorry for your loss.
Yes, for sure. We're with you guys. I actually, one of my baristas moved to London, and he like messaged me when it happened. He's like, "It's crazy here now." Like, yeah, makes sense. Like, everything's shut down for like 11 days or something.
What?
Yeah, they're like mourning. They're mourning.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to Google it, see what's going on. Really
look into it. But
all right, that's it.
Yeah, that's it for us, I think.
So we don't know what we're doing next week, because we just need one more week, and then we'll get to Andor. We just gotta make it one more week. Hopefully, we'll get something. The rest of this, because the D23 thing is happening through the weekend, I believe. So hopefully, we'll get something.
I'm very skeptical.
Some people are saying we're gonna get a Mando trailer or an announcement for Boba season 2.
I just don't understand why. I hope not.
Okay, they left a cliffhanger with what's his face in the back to tank. There's definitely going to be a season 2 or his own spin-off show. I don't know. But anyway, like I say, I'm
that's
hoping we're going to get something.
But I think we need Mando, because obviously there's a trailer out there that's not like, all they have to do is just release that trailer to the public.
Yeah, and then we could deep dive that, and that'd be fun, and we'd love it.
Yeah, just do that, Disney. It's like, it's not hard.
Okay. I'll text Dave Filoni when we're done here.
Okay, yeah,
and we'll get it done.
We should have done that for Bad Batch season 2 trailer, bro.
Hey Dave, when is Bad Batch coming out?
Yeah, come on, dude. Get the dates. All right,
that's it. So you've been listening to another Kenobi-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.